Mary, Queen of Scots, and Queen Elizabeth. Background: Mary Stewart, remembered as Queen of Scots, was born on December 8, 1542, and was a Catholic woman, which brought problems to her ruling in Scotland, which had a patriarchal society in which militant Protestantism was gathering force. She inherited the throne of Scotland within a week after the death of her father, King James V. When Mary was 15, she married Francis, the French Dauphin, who became king in 1559. After 1 year, Francis passed away, and at the age of 18, Mary returned to her own kingdom, Scotland. She later married her cousin, Henry Stewart, Lord Darnley, who would later pass away in 1567. After that, Mary would then marry Earl James Hepburn of Bothwell. Background continued. What this marriage brought was an uprising of the Scottish nobility. Mary was imprisoned at Lochleven Castle, where she later escaped from. In 1568, she fled to England to ask for help from her cousin Elizabeth. At the age of 25, she was not welcomed or helped by Elizabeth. Mary was then jailed until her death at the age of 44. There were also some letters found saying that Mary had something to do with the death of her second husband, and that one of her lovers killed Lord Darnley. Mary was convicted with the charges of a traitor and sentenced to death. But Queen Elizabeth did not want to execute Mary, and tried to prolong the death sentence of Mary until the letters were found. There were also letters that said Mary wanted to use or have the throne of Queen Elizabeth. Mary was executed on February 8, 1587. It is said that Mary was executed within hours of Queen Elizabeth signing the death sentence. When Mary got executed, her dog ran out from underneath her skirt. The executioner gets to take everything that's on the body of the person, which includes clothes. They also made sure that the blood did not touch something that could later be used as a relic in a Catholic church. Elizabeth was born in 1533 and became Queen of England from 1558 until her death in 1603. Her parents were Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Her mother was later executed with the charges of adultery and treason. Elizabeth was later ruled illegitimate by an act of Parliament. She had received a rigorous education as she was the youngest princess. She was taught by distinguished tutors in classical languages, history, rhetoric, theology, and moral philosophy, which led her to have pride in her knowledge of different languages, such as being able to speak fluent French and Italian, while she was also able to read Latin and Greek. When she ascended the throne at the age of 25 in 1558, after the death of her older half-sister Mary, she declared that the official religion of the land would be Protestant. Although she had many proposals for the marriage, until she ultimately refused all offers and declared repeatedly that she was wedded to her country. Queen Elizabeth tried to make herself known as the Virgin Queen. She didn't want to be married because she didn't want power to be given to someone else. She wanted it for herself. She also tried to present herself as Gloriana, the royal family tree. This is also attached in the post if anyone would like more detail on the family tree. Queen Mary's accomplishments. Because the Queen became the Queen of Scotland when she was only 6 days old, after her father, King James V of Scotland, died. Married 3 times to King Francis of France, Earl Henry Stewart of Darnley, and Earl James Hepburn of Bothwell. She was France's queen consort and claimed the English crown, supported religious tolerance, and her son became King James I of England. Queen Elizabeth's accomplishments. Queen Elizabeth never married and was often called the Virgin Queen. She established defeated Spanish Queen Elizabeth defeated the Spanish Armada in 1588. The Speech of Tilbury. She maintained peace inside her previously divided country and cleared all of England's debt by 1574. Quotes by Mary, Queen of Scots. She seemed not to be in terror for aught that appeared by any her outward gesture or behavior, but rather with smiling cheer and pleasing countenance, digested and accepted. Queen Mary, in this quote, didn't seem scared based on her gesture, which she had been told that she would die. She was actually smiling in cheer. But I pray thee, she said, Queen Mary, carry this message from me that I die a true woman to my religion, and like a true Queen of Scotland and France. This quote explains how Queen Mary wants to die as an honorable woman, a person who is a true queen to Scotland and France and to her religion. The Queen aloud in Latin the psalm, In te Domine confido. The part of the psalm means, In the Lord put I my trust. This shows the Queen's faith in God and her respect to the religion. Queen Elizabeth quotes, And wit me warns to shun such snares as threatens mine annoy, the doubt of future foes. This quote is from the poem about Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mary of Scots, who was seeking safety in England from a rebellion. The quote demonstrates how Queen Elizabeth responds to her opponent who threatens her, and how she is smart enough to realize Queen Mary's disputes. But I tell you that I would not desire to live to distrust my faithful and loving people. Let tyrants fear. I have the heart and stomach of a king. Speech to the troops of Tilbury. This quote is from the speech to the forces to fight against the Spanish Armada in King Philip II. Queen Elizabeth was successful in defeating the Spanish Armada. This quote demonstrates how Elizabeth rallied her troops as a leader and motivated them to be victorious in battle for England. Since I was queen, yet did I never put my pen to any grant but that upon pretext and semblance made unto me, that my grant should be grievous to my people. When I heard it, I could give no rest unto my thoughts until I had reformed it. Golden Speech. This quote is from the Queen's last speech to Parliament, which was about the issue of monopoly control in commerce. The quote shows the Queen's ability to persuade members of the Parliament to support her in her political actions. The Parliament's stance towards the Queen was important in passing legislation, especially since she was known to be slow in responding to grievances. The Golden Speech was recorded/written by one of the members of Parliament. And this is the works cited page.